Yo, chat, we got this is the only way to settle this debate. I think this is the GOAT debate, and Trae Young is not on this thumbnail cover, so this doesn't even add up, bro.
Ranking NBA players is useless, but it's also really fun. Every NBA fan at some point has created their own ranking. It's like our official pastime at this point. And with the game as data-driven and awards and accomplishments as absolute as the NBA has, you'd think ranking players would be a fairly simple task. But
I mean, it's pretty easy. Trae Young is #1 of all time. That's pretty easy to, you know what I'm saying, say. What's so difficult about it?
despite the countless efforts to make a flawless, coherent all-time ranking of NBA players, no one can seem to get it quite right. Some players
Trae
rank
Young
too
is
high,
#1.
others too low.
If you have Trae Young #1, bro, the list is fine. Trae Young #1, the list is fine, bro. It's all it takes. You have Trae Young #1, bro.
Some
All
not even
good.
ranked at all. Make any of these mistakes and your ranking will immediately get dismissed. The latest attempt of this fleeting endeavor came last week from Bleacher Report when they released their top 100 NBA players ever list. A ranking that seemed relatively good, but was met with an onslaught of criticism. Like everyone else that made an attempt before them, this list was not accurate. Not good enough.
Was it?
Why is it so difficult to make an all-time ranking that we can all agree on? I mean,
I know I did not just see Jason Tatum is a top 100 best player of all time. I did not just see Luca 57.
why is it
Swear to God, I know I did not just see Luca Doncic
so difficult
57 all
to
time.
make an all-time ranking
better than Jason Tatum. Better than Jaylen Brown. He's 57th of all time. Now that's diabolical, bro. That's some glaze, dude.
that we can all agree on? I mean, we all have our own opinion, our own personal bias. Is it even possible to make such a list? And if we could,
Kyrie,
how
bro.
would we even create it?
I know they did not just put Embiid on this list. Bro, they put Embiid on this list.
We can all agree on. I mean, we all have our own
Draymond, James Harden 34,
opinion, our
Tracy,
own personal
Larry, Jokic 17th all time.
bias.
Russ is at 48.
Is it even possible
Kyrie at 69. You're telling me that Luka Doncic is better than Kyrie Irving all time?
to make such a
You're telling me Giannis Antetokounmpo is not better than I can't even
list?
pronounce it.
And if we could, how would we even create it?
and
Well,
the GOAT is
believe it
Michael-
or not, there is a method that we can use to rank every player in NBA history with shockingly good accuracy.
How?
It doesn't use any numbers or data, no formulas or advanced metrics. It is a method way simpler than you would ever think, and yet manages to get results with nearly 100% accuracy.
Really?
Even crazier, we actually use this method all the time.
To be honest, Lord. Second time right to this dude. How are you serious right now, bro? Hey, chat. Hey, chat. Subscribe for me so I can get YouTube Premium, bro. Subscribe. Watch my videos for a very long time until the end of the video, bro. Please. Please. I need to get YouTube Premium.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. Whether you're looking at events and seat tickets, I know, and you automatically last week, no one's surprise, people were not happy about it. Among some of the
Yeah,
more
well,
glaring
I'm not
complaints
happy
about
either.
Bleacher Report's list include Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the now MVP, Finals MVP,
I know people are not mad about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not a top 100 player of all time. I know they're not mad of Shai being a top 100 player of all time. He has not done nothing. Yes, he won a championship and got an MVP, but he's not. I cannot. No, bro. There's no.
and champion not even making the list. Jason Tatum landing at 93. John Stockton ranked ahead of players like Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard, and of course Kobe Bryant falling outside of the top 10.
11 is wild, bro. I got Kobe as a top 5 player of all time, bro.
Despite polling their staff of NBA experts, writers, and editors, the results of this comprehensive ranking only left people confused and annoyed. Ranking players should not be this difficult, and yet
Exactly.
it is. But to understand why it's so difficult, we first need to understand why every ranking, no matter how thought out it is, how logical the criteria is, how much data was used, always falls short. One popular approach that some fans and experts have taken over the years is the formula method. Create a point-based system and apply those points to various factors like career stats, accolades, and impact to make an objectively accurate ranking. A method that has been tested countless times with varying levels of success. Last year, John Hollinger, longtime NBA analyst,
Like, I don't think there's gonna be no list that everybody's okay with, bro. There will never be a list realistically that somebody's gonna be okay with, bro. There's always gonna be that one person that's gonna be like, no, no, this person should be higher than this person. There will never be an accurate list, chat. It will never happen. Everybody has different opinions. There's over a jillion people on Earth. You're telling me you're supposed to have a jillion, you know what I'm saying? People agree with you? Cap.
and a man credited with creating some of the first advanced NBA statistics, created a formula to determine his all-time top 100 list. His criteria being a point-based system that put varying levels of weight into factors like MVP shares, finals MVPs, win shares, and career box plus minus. A formula that resulted in LeBron as the GOAT, Jordan second, Kareem third, Duncan fourth, and Karl Malone.
Karl Malone. What? It should be Trae Young, LeBron, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant.
Fifth all time. This list also features Harden at 13, Hakeem at 19, Steph all the way down at 27, and Isaiah Thomas at 65. This Reddit user went through the trouble of creating an entire model from scratch to achieve the goal of, as he put it, quantifying career.
I know this dude did not just type all of that, bro. Bro, this dude spent his hard-earned hours, days, seconds, milliseconds of this dude's life. Precious time of his life writing this, bro. Get a life, bro.
Using a formula that combines accolades with simple advanced stats while compensating for era and benchmarking, plus adjusting the weights of the formula against approximate expected rankings using least squared regression. In other words, he used a whole lot of stats and accolades, made some applicable adjustments, and put together an all-time top 100 ranking.
Did this dude just make up on a word? Applicable. What does applicable even mean, dude?
A whole lot of stats and accolades, made some applicable adjustments, and put together an all-time top 100 ranking. The results came in, and people hated it. The
Obviously,
glaring flaw in
there's
this
no Trae Young at number one.
method, as well as every other method that attempts to be completely objective in its approach, is that it's not objective. Even concrete things like stats and awards will inevitably have some sort of weight or value attached to them based partially off of opinion. What is a championship worth, and how do you factor it in? Should there be an era tax on players who played half a century ago? If there is, when does it no longer apply? The 80s? 90s? Is peak more important than longevity, or is it the other way around? Even awards themselves.
If it was championships, then Bill Russell would be the greatest player of all time. If it was championships. But it's not. It's about stats and impact, which Trae Young is number one. Like
MVPs and DPOYs are voted on by people with their own personal bias. Creating some sort of formula involves attributing value to all of these things, but without any impartial method of weighing all of these factors without injecting some sort of personal bias, the pursuit of creating a perfectly accurate ranking becomes virtually impossible. So, what if we just remove the personal bias? What if we strictly use data and numbers, two important factors that have no bias, to make a completely accurate and nonpartisan all-time ranking?
that would be good.
Because the rankings get really weird really fast. For example, Box Plus Minus has Nikola Jokic as far and away the best player of all time. It also has Luka Doncic 4th, David Robinson 6th, and Tim Duncan 19th. But
And they have
in the
Shea
right hands
21,
and
bro.
with enough data, and when used in conjunction with one another, a purely data-driven approach could lead us in the right direction. And this is what Ben Taylor of Thinking Basketball did back in 2017 when he created his top 40 list. As Ben says when describing his methodology, I won't attempt to balance Kobe's championships with Shaq, nor do I care about accolades like all-star teams or the number of Hall of Fame teammates someone played with. I also don't care about how many rings a player won. The very thing I'm trying to tease out is who provided the most lift. Instead of trying to assign value to things.
So he doesn't care about chips? Is that what he's saying? He doesn't care how much rings they have. He just cares about I don't even know. To be honest with you, bro. Chat, y'all will never get a top 100 player list from me ever in my life because that's just too many players, bro. You expect me to list 100 players, bro? I'm not doing that. That's gonna be a headache. I can't even do that, bro. The most I can give you is top 15, top 10, bro. I can't do top 100, bro. That's way too many players, bro. I'll do probably top 50, maybe, maybe, but I'm gonna do like top 15, top 10. I cannot do 100, bro. That's too many people, bro.
Things like rings and MVPs, Ben's list ranks players based on who provided the largest increase in the odds of a team winning a championship over the course of their career. Ben's specific method and reasoning is probably the best out there when it comes to seeking an objective ranking, using the best advanced metrics available and using them logically to find the most accurate conclusion. The results of this experiment were eventually updated in 2022 and are generally accepted as a really solid list without the outliers or massive holes that other lists have. The only problem is, this is not an all-time player ranking. As Ben stated, this list is a player evaluation, not necessarily a ranking of the greatest players of all time. And it's evaluating how good these players were, their abilities and their effectiveness in using those abilities, not how great they were or what they accomplished. A great exercise in determining which players had the largest impact on the court, but not the best method in determining how that impact actually translated to tangible success. For example, this method is providing evidence that Karl Malone had a larger statistical impact than Stephen Curry over the course of his career.
No, no, no. Stephen Curry has been the greatest player on his team, the greatest Golden State Warrior player of all time. And you're telling me Karl Malone has way more, like, no. Who has more chips? Who has more chips? Who has way more points? Who has more three-point shooting?
But I'm not sure if there's a single human being on planet Earth that would argue Karl Malone is greater than Steph is. Using purely statistics and data to rank players removes valuable context that certainly matters when evaluating how great they were throughout their career. However, allowing awards and achievements to partially dictate rankings will inherently skew the results due to personal bias and variance of opinion. So looking at it through either of these lenses will lead you to inaccurate results. But maybe we're looking at this through the wrong lens altogether.
This is Pod 5.
Let
the
me get
first
YouTube
fully
Premium,
immersive
subscribe,
sleep system.
like, share,
Intelligent, adaptive,
comment.
We as
I
fans
need YouTube Premium, please.
are going to be biased. It's the very nature of being a fan. My team's great and they can do no wrong. So if we need to factor everything in, but we cannot do that without inserting some sort of bias, what if instead of trying to remove all bias from the equation, we factor this bias into the equation by asking fans what it is they value most when ranking players?
Bro, you're a grown man with a San Antonio Spurs jersey, Victor Wembanyama Glazer, bro. With the glasses, with the hat on, bro. I could never relate glazing somebody. Can never relate.
If the accuracy of the rankings is determined by the fans, then so should the criteria. Well, that's exactly what this Reddit user did. Back in 2020, an NBA fan on Reddit took it upon himself to survey other NBA fans, 662 of them to be exact, on not just what's important to them in terms of greatness, but even what kind of fan they are. Among some of the questions asked were, how long have you been watching the NBA for? The most popular answer was 6 to 9 years. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a fan of the NBA are you? Over 80% of the results being at least an 8 out of 10. But here's where things get interesting. One of the questions asked was, what do you think is more important in a player's career? Team success or individual success? 52% of voters said team success.
I mean, technically. It depends. Because if you're a winner, I don't know, bro. Team success probably is the one, right? I mean, if you're just basically going on who's better than who, it'll be individual success because you're trying to see who's better than who. But team success would be like who has the greatest team and who's been on the greatest team. I don't know.
And 48% said individual success. Almost an even 50-50 split between NBA fans in response to a very important question with two very different answers. Even more revealing, voters were asked what are the top 3 most important measures when evaluating who the greatest of all time is. The number 1 answer? Career stats, followed by number of championships, number of regular season MVPs, total win shares, and career advanced statistics.
So, number of championships, 1. No, it didn't. Number of championships is 2nd. All-Stars, Career statistics. Yeah, I mean, I feel like career statistics. If you're I don't know, bro. Because if you're trying to say who's better than who, it would be by stats, bro. It wouldn't be really by wins. It'd be by like
The
statistics,
near
right?
50-50 split between the importance of team success versus individual success visible in the almost even voting split between career stats and number of championships. One person can make their rankings based on how good a player was, meanwhile another person could make their rankings based on how much success a player had. Two completely different criterias. So how exactly can we make a player ranking that is agreed upon if we can't even agree on what actually matters, or at least what matters most? No matter what approach you take, no matter how much personal bias or opinion you try to take out of it,
Chat. What do y'all think, bro? What do y'all think? Do y'all think statistics matters or team success? I technically think both really matters for real though, because LaMelo Ball, he's a good player, but he's playing on a trash team, so you can't compare him to Trey Young. You just can't. Cade Cunningham, he's a good player, but on a trash team, so you can't compare him to Trey Young.
the results will always end up skewed in some sort of direction. There's just too many factors, difference in opinion, difference in what matters most from
Got me.
fan to fan. But there is one way, one method that has been proven to be the best way to get to an accurate conclusion about things otherwise not agreed upon. What is
Really?
this scientifically backed method? It's the exact one Bleacher Report used. Ask people, have you ever seen the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Let's play Who Wants to Be a
I'm not old, bro.
Millionaire right now.
Wasn't
It
born
was
in
a
the
game
50s.
show where contestants would answer a series of multiple choice questions, with each correct answer winning them more money and progressively getting more difficult until the eventual $1 million question. Now, this game show would feature one
Oh, I can get this answer right easily. What number must appear at the beginning of the registration? All right, never mind.
sole contestant at a time who had to answer these questions by themselves. However, each contestant was granted what were called lifelines, tools the contestant could use to help them answer difficult questions. These 3 lifelines were 50-50, eliminate 2 of the 4 options in a multiple choice question, leaving the contestant with a 50% chance of getting the right answer. Phone a friend, where the contestant could call a friend live on the show for help. And the
Live on
third
the
one
show.
was Ask the Audience, where each member of the audience would vote on what they thought was the correct answer to any given question. All of these lifelines were valuable, but one of them in particular resulted in the correct answer far more than the others.
Asking the
The
people.
50-50 lifeline, as the name suggests, got contestants to the correct answer about 50% of the time. Phoning a friend
Obviously.
resulted in contestants getting the correct answer 66% of the time.
Ooh.
But asking the audience resulted in the correct answer 92% of the time. By far, the
I mean, technically, he's right. Because if there's a lot of people there and they're going for one answer, technically, the answer has to be right.
most accurate method of coming to the correct answer for any question in the show's history. And this is a demonstration of a concept known as the wisdom of the crowd, an idea that refers to the collective judgment of a group of people often being more accurate than the judgment of any single individual, even an expert. And it is an incredibly accurate method of arriving on the correct answer to any logical question. In 2011, the BBC network put this concept to the test by filling a jar
The what? Run it back to it, bro.
question. In 2011, the BBC network put this concept to the test by filling a jar with jelly beans and asking 160 contestants how many jelly beans they thought were in the jar. The answers were absolutely insane, ranging from 500 to 50,000.
As a grown woman or male, you really thought in your thick brain of yours that there was 50,000 jelly beans in this jar.
And yet somehow their collective average was unbelievably close to the actual number. After conducting their experiment, it was revealed that there were exactly 4,510 jelly beans in the jar. The average guess among all 160 participants, 4,515.
Wow.
Despite their variance in answers, on average, the participants were able to get within 99.9% of the correct
That's diabolical.
answer. By aggregating the opinions or estimates of many individuals, the errors and biases of individual judgment tend to cancel.
Chat, you can't tell me this looks like 4,000 jelly beans. If I were to guess, I would have said Maybe 1,000, bro. 4,000?
cancel each other out, leading to a collective result that is closer to the truth. And in possibly the most roundabout way I could conjure up, I think this same exact concept can be applied to ranking NBA players on an all-time list. Regardless of what the individuals value most and our own personal bias, if you ask enough people, chances are you'll more than likely end up at an accurate result. Better than strictly using stat-based metrics, better than the eye test or a combination of multiple factors. Simply asking people who the greatest players of all time are will show you exactly who the greatest players of all time are. And evidence of this can be found within the results of Bleacher Report's ranking. Someone ranked Kobe Bryant 18th all time. Their personal
Gotta be disrespectful, bro. Rest in peace, Kobe. You know what I'm saying? And the passengers and his daughter, man.
top 100 ranking is
But he's top 5, bro.
probably a little wacky. But this vote inadvertently balances out someone else who voted Kobe 4th all time. Same goes for every single player on this list. Someone had Jokic 12th all time, another voter had him 28th, and everyone else had him somewhere in between. The range of votes for Charles Barkley are probably the largest of any player on this list, with one vote for him as the 18th greatest player and another with him
18th greatest player, Charles Barkley. Are we serious right now?
as the 74th greatest player. With
Sounds about
individual rankings like this, you'd think the final result would be a mess. And yet Barkley ended up being ranked 25th all time, right about where he should be. Can we make a completely accurate ranking of the greatest NBA players ever? Well, we can get really close. In terms of how we would create it and what it would look like, you're looking at it. This isn't a matter of opinion, it is a statistical principle. As Bleacher Report put it when describing their methodology, it's an impossible task, especially when confronted with the reality of comparing players from different eras. Stats help, but calculators won't ever figure all of this out. But asking enough people just might.
Wait, so basically he said Bleacher Report was right? Is that what he just said? Chad, I don't even know what just happened. He just left you on the cliffhanger, man. Love your boys and girls. Trae Young is the greatest player of all time. Love your boys and girls. See you on next video, man. Subscribe. I need YouTube Premium. Please. Love your boys and girls. Peace.